YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. The sounds of freedom becoming more and more like what it really is, and that's a sound for a psyop. Now, obviously, emotionally, people are all drawn into this, as they should be, because anybody out there that doesn't care about protecting and saving children is a scumbag and an abomination walking this earth. But you have to realize, you have to use discernment, that when things like this happen, they're happening for a reason. People don't think past that. They just emotionally let themselves get involved in this emotionally. I've been yelled at and accused on the website, other places, that people are upset that I'm not supporting this. And the reason I'm not supporting it is because it's got government written all over it. And you might say, well, getting attention out there about this is all that really matters. Well, attention is out there on it. I mean, the stuff with Epstein has been out there. The stuff with Pizzagate's been out there. And obviously over the years, I've covered all those specific cases with McMartin, et cetera. So people are aware that this actually occurs. But what I said 5 to 10 years ago is exactly what's happening now. If they bring up trafficking and they don't tie this into the occult and Satanism, then it doesn't matter to them if the message is getting out. But this is very clearly a case of the government doing this. This is for the civil national divorce. They are making it so that people are getting so angry that they do not want to live amongst the people of the opposite political party, because you even have liberals who are calling this a conspiracy, who are attacking conservatives, calling this whole thing QAnon, and that's what they want. So this other narrative has been fully created by the CIA. You can tell. Number one, they wouldn't mention it on the news if they didn't want it out there. This movie was made over 5 years ago. It finished filming in 2018. Why all of a sudden is it being released in the movie theaters? I mean, do you hear about movies sitting places and never getting released? They talked about, well, Disney bought it out, bought the company, et cetera, et cetera. And I'll get into all the narratives in great detail because you need to hear these, including how they're deliberately sabotaging this movie in movie theaters. This is done by design. And then they're making these stories of sabotage go viral, as you'll see from all the YouTubers and TikTokers who are viral now, because they're talking about this. They don't make it or let it go viral unless they want it to go viral. They have that much control over the internet. They're doing this by design. Anyone who's talking about this topic, with the exception, of course, of someone like me, because I'm not buying into what the CIA is trying to sell me, but anyone else who's talking about the government and our country sabotaging the movie because they don't want people to see the movie, that's all working into their narrative and what they want. And again, this is about many different things. National divorce, chipping children, eventually having children chipped so that they can't be trafficked, right? So we know that Elon Musk is another one of these guys that's getting herded in with the Republicans and the conservatives. It's all by design. It's all to herd people. That's what psychological operations are. And this is a psychological operation. You could easily look at it and say, look, psychologically what they're doing by sabotaging the movie on purpose in theaters, where they're making it so obvious that the movie's being sabotaged. So what are they doing? They're not sabotaging it because they don't want you to see it. They're sabotaging it because they want your reaction to it. They want your unrest from it. They want you to not want to live amongst these people anymore, amongst other things, including starting to push the microchipping of children. I talked about the child ID program years ago with Freemasons, and this is what you're seeing here. So before I get into it, I want to let everybody out there know I have 2 other YouTube channels. That's where I'm uploading. I have a strike on one of them. That's why I'm uploading here. But if you want my content, you want videos like this, and you miss hearing my content, please pause the video now and subscribe to the 2 channels linked below. I'm trying to build them out. I've had a tough time, obviously, using this name. It's okay for other people to use it, apparently, but if my voice is on the other side of this channel, it seems to constantly get banned and sabotaged, literally, not psychologically, literally sabotaging my channels, and of course my voice here on the internet. So please pause the video now and subscribe to those 2 channels. Do that for me. If I've helped you out over the years, Please do that favor for me and subscribe. And of course, you could always join the website at callforanuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. If you go over there and click on free videos, you'll be able to follow where I'm uploading so we won't lose touch with each other. One of the things that they're constantly trying to do is separate all of us from one another. Why? Well, they don't want like-minded people like us connected. They're afraid that something could actually happen, a movement could actually occur, or a mass awakening can occur. It's one of the reasons that I've been targeted. I'm not keeping people trapped in this left-right paradigm. And obviously, I have a voice where they've constantly silenced me, but I've been able to build my channels back out. But now I need your help. So please, if you can join the website, consider joining the website. If you could become a Patreon, that would help greatly too with all the censorship that's going on. It takes a lot of time to make a lot of content. I make more content than most YouTubers make, multiple videos a day. So if those are ways that you could help the channel, but if you don't want to join the website and you don't want to become a Patreon, please just subscribe to the other channels. They are linked below. Pause the video now and do that for me. Okay, so these are the things that we need to look at when it comes to this story. Now, we could always start with Jim Caviezel, right? Jim Caviezel and these guys are doing exactly what they want them to do. The government is getting out of this what they want to get out of it. They want people fully supportive of these actors and thinking that these people actually care about children, that they're not involved in Hollywood, that they're rebelling against it. There's a few voices that they need to use because they need to make this look like it's a republic, like Hollywood isn't fully corrupt. Caviezel is one of them. We've seen all the pictures over the years of the all-seeing eye symbolism. But the reason that they chose him is pretty obvious because he played Jesus in Passion of the Christ. So there's an emotional connection with an audience of conservatives already built in because they look at him and they see that movie and they... it plays on their emotion. This is obviously deliberately done by design, why Jim Caviezel was the guy chosen. The guy, Tim Ballard, who the film is based off of, can be seen wearing Freemason ties. Okay, he's wearing a tie that has Freemasonry on it. Now, the Freemasons, of course, are the Satanists. They're really the core of all this stuff. The devil is the core of child trafficking. I did a video on the website. I can't show details of it here because it'll get banned. But I talked about Aleister Crowley and his teachings, and the core of child trafficking is really about child sacrifice. This goes back to the Old Testament and Baal worship, okay? Magic spells and rituals, the most prominent ones that are done, the most efficient and effective spells that these witches and Satanists can do are done using small children. And again, this goes back to the Old Testament. We hear about sacrifice to Baal. So that's the reason behind it. This is something that is not mentioned in these films. And again, I know a lot of people get mad at me. I'm not saying any of this stuff because I'm trying to bash, a good message being out there. I'm saying it to keep you out of the psychological trap. Okay, this isn't about me. Some people were, saying, oh, it's about you. You're upset because you've always exposed trafficking and you never got the attention. I don't care about attention. I don't want attention. If I did, I'd show my face. I'd make a bigger, stance on all this stuff. And I feel like what I do is enough. It's sufficient enough. But if I wanted more and I was egotistical, I would do more. I would go out there in public. But I don't want fame. I don't want any of those things that come with it. I just want to help the best I can. And if you don't see psychological operations and what they stand for, then you get sucked into the trap. And that's exactly what the left and right are doing. So this is done by design. The same way that the whole Roe v. Wade was brought up out of nowhere and they overturned it. The same way that you see them now doing and promoting castration of young children. They are dividing us to the point that people will not want to live amongst one another. They're politicizing everything. They're politicizing pedophilia, for crying out loud. They've been politicizing the vaccine, where if you're a conservative, if you're a Democrat and a liberal, you have to be vaccinated or you won't be allowed amongst your liberal friends. Nobody's allowed to have their own voice and their own opinion on this stuff. It's all based on political parties. So now they're weaponizing child trafficking, and they're not getting to the core of what it's really about, which isn't money. They print money. It's about sacrifice. It's about sacrificing children to Satan. These are satanic covens. A lot of these children, like I've talked about over the years, are born into this, okay? And then we look at the other narrative that comes from this, right? So you can say, oh, it's a coincidence with Tim Ballard, right? Tim Ballard, he's got the Freemason stuff. Well, the Freemasons have been running DNA testing, plans for quite some time on children. They have the Children's ID program where they get children's DNA and then they try to tell you, oh, it's to protect the children. This is to track and monitor children to get their DNA samples. Now, we know that I've covered this over the years as well. The whole purpose of all this stuff with Ancestry.com and 24andMe and all these things was to get people to willingly submit their DNA. The other reason that you constantly hear these murder stories, that these true crimes are constantly getting promoted, and it always ends with, oh, well, thanks to new technology, we were able to get the DNA, and then we didn't have his DNA in the computer, but we had his relatives, and we were able to narrow down the search. This is all psychologically done by design. It's a massive psychological operation. They want your DNA. They need your DNA, okay? Then they need to edit your DNA and your genetic code, which is also what they're doing right now, which is what you just saw occur. So all these things tie together. There are agendas behind it. It's about more than just the national divorce, but they are making things so intense that people do not want to be around one another. And that works perfectly into their plans. Instead of people saying, hey, I'm a Democrat, but I'm for this movie because I'm against child trafficking. They're making it so liberals are actually coming out and calling it a QAnon conspiracy. And somehow they're of the belief that children are being trafficked when it's the biggest industry in the world. It has been for quite some time. They use fronts like art galleries and other businesses that they use. Just like if you ever saw Breaking Bad, how they use the laundromat or the car wash, to launder money. There's lots of shows that talk about that. Well, the rich and the elite have always used art museums and those types of things I've talked about over the years because they could put any tag they want on a picture. It could look like somebody took a crap and threw it on a canvas, and they could say it's worth $1 million. But really the transaction that's being made, while they might be leaving with a canvas that looks like somebody has, defecated on it, is really a transaction of the purchase, the buying and selling of children. That's been going on for quite some time. That's stuff I covered with Pizzagate back in the day. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff now. You can see on the screen as I've been playing this, there's two other things to note. If this was something they want, if they didn't want this movie out there, it wouldn't be out there. It wouldn't be out there. And even if it was, even if this made some movie theaters because there's some guy out there who wanted to get the message out about this stuff, then they wouldn't be talking about it in the mainstream. Just them bringing attention to it gets people to go to the movies. They're aware of this. They're the ones who are creating this psychological war on all of us. So by MSNBC and them coming out and going, oh, it's a QAnon, they wouldn't even bring attention to it. Then nobody would go see it because they wouldn't know what it was, right? So they're using reverse psychology in a sense to bring the people's awareness to this movie because they know that people are going to go and see it. They want them to see it. And then out of that, they've created this psychological operation where they're sabotaging the actual movie. Listen to this compilation of clips. And all these clips, do look up these YouTubers. They have, 500 subscribers, 20 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers. And the videos of them leaving the theater talking about how something went wrong in the theater have hundreds of thousands of views. They put this in that. What that says is not that, people are searching. It's that they put in the algorithm to promote these types of videos so that people can see it. Why? Because it causes a massive uproar. It pisses people off. And you should be pissed off, but understand that they're doing this on purpose. They're doing it by design to piss you off, not just because they want to stick it to you, because they have overall plans tied into this. And that is why you see attached to this movie, not just Freemasons and Jim Caviezel or whatever. You have Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who are going to be two of the biggest people who are going to herd and trap conservative people. Okay, Trump has always been one of them. That's a fact. The guy never drained the swamp. That should have been enough evidence for anybody out there. But I get it, how good he is on the mic, how entertaining he is, right? And when you see how insane these liberals are, of course you'd say the lesser of two evils. But there is no lesser of two evils in this. This is about hurting you. They're hurting one side one way and the other side the other way. Elon Musk suddenly, after years and years of being a liberal, going to all the Met Gala events, etc., is now a conservative because he came back to Twitter and apparently brought back free speech, even though that's not the case. There's still people who get suspended, but they brought back some of your favorite political pundits who are conservative, who are keeping you trapped in the left-right, which is what they want. And now Elon Musk is even promoting Sounds of Freedom. This is by design. This is the same guy who wants to get a Neuralink inside your body to have control over you. Okay? So here are some of the clips of the sabotage right out of this CIA operation, because that's exactly what this is. This is all done by design.
And I was super curious, so I came to see it, and the lights didn't turn off for the first 10 minutes. And also there was a voiceover, a narrator for blind people.
In a bathroom, Tim regards himself in a mirror. He splashes water on his face. In daylight, Tim enters the sunny foyer of a home. A young girl throws her arms around him. A blonde woman approaches. At a table, Tim sits with the girl and 4 boys.
Okay, everybody, come on. Gotta clear your place now. We're gonna be late. Let's go. Come on.
The children leave. The The woman sits with Tim. Without looking, he puts his hand on the table. She rubs it.
Are you okay?
He meets her gaze. In an office, Tim faces the closed blinds of a window. He puts his hands on his hips. Behind him, a balding man at a desk, Bryant, eyes him.
Come on, Tim. What's going on?
Tim looks over his shoulder.
When people come out and complain, it's not our fault. We have to get this situated so that everybody can feel accommodated, and then we'll restart the movie, okay?
Restart the movie? Hold on.
So we're standing in line with all these other people in the movie theater. We're getting refunds for The Sound of Freedom because apparently the water pressure in the bathrooms aren't working here, so no one can watch the movie tonight.
There were other people in here, and now they're all gone. And the radio's playing over the movie. Lights are still on. Radio is still playing, but they restarted the movie. Sounds off again.
15 seconds.
So we'll get it done as soon as we can, okay? All right.
Were you talking about the picture?
Yes.
Look at this. In the middle of the movie, when they're about to save the children, it literally, this alarm just starts going off. Oh my God, the glitches. Okay, now we're just sitting in an empty theater with nothing playing. Oh my God.
With our projector, we had to wait for it to download the movie. It's going to be about 30 minutes. Everyone in here is going to get a free film pass. If you want to leave, that's understandable. I'll go do a refund. I can help you. But for now, we're going to have to wait for the movie to download.
Can you change it to another theater?
I don't think so. This is the only one that has it for tonight.
So how do we get the free pass?
You can just come to us and the concessions or the gelato. If you want to leave, we can help you. If you want to refund, we can pass and do everything. It's gonna have to wait for 30 minutes. Then we're gonna fast forward the trailers and then we'll start it.
Can we get the free pass after the movie?
Yes, you can get it after the movie. Yes. After everybody here get a free pass, even if you're not leaving or if you get a refund, I don't care.
Okay. So then you want to go?
The film was glitching, then shut down. Been going to the theater all year, and this has never happened. It finally was played. There's something definitely going on. If you haven't gone to see this film yet, definitely go.
Okay, they're talking about what you said.
No se permiten hombres en la cocina. Pero las recogidas a las 7 p.m. En punto.
Bueno, mi amor. Venimos. Bueno, ya nos vemos, ¿ok?
More as to why this movie in particular is not playing, and are you having issues in other theaters, or is it just The Sound of Freedom?
So, I'm pretty sure it's 12 that it was overheating in that room.
So it's just this theater you're having an issue playing movies in right now?
Yes, it's this auditorium.
Okay, no surprise there. Thank you.
So I personally went to go see the movie yesterday, and lo and behold, there was no AC in our theater. And although I'd seen videos about it on TikTok, I was extremely shocked. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. So I walked out of the theater and went to 4 other theater rooms, and they were all working with AC, like a literal icebox. I would also like to include that obviously I don't have a large following by any means, but I just felt very compelled to post something about this because I actually could not believe it. I did address the manager. I'll insert like a small clip about it. They're just being very vague, can't really give you any answers as to why it's not working, and it's just BS.
So if we come and see it tomorrow and you guys move it into a different theater, there'll be AC?
We can go ahead and just ask for the manager. I'm not sure. I don't know the schedule as of
You're the manager?
Yes. My GM is the one who does the schedule.
Okay, then I'm going to be coming back every single day until this movie is out of your theaters, until there's AC in one of the rooms. Thank you.
Please ignore my shaky voice in that. I was really nervous and I hate confrontation like that, but point is, go see this movie. Screw 'em.
Okay, listen to what this woman has to say about the Sound of Freedom movie.
So, don't know if any one of you have already been to see The Sound of Freedom, but my friends and I just walked out. Hi. And we are curious what your experiences were in the movie theater because we pre-ordered our tickets. Paid for them, they were claimed, got the link sent, and this is an AMC theater in Pineville, North Carolina. Some point today, the tickets got refunded to my friend and we couldn't figure out why. So we come anyways to the theater after dinner and they're like, oh, well, we refunded all the tickets because there's no air conditioning in our theaters. Okay, whatever, we don't care. Are you still showing it? Yeah, you can still watch it. So we get to thinking, why did they not send out a notice in the email saying, hey, we refunded your tickets because there's no air conditioning? And we just are curious why didn't they let us know? There was no one in that theater. There was us 4 and 4 other people, 8 people in the theater on a Friday night. There was air conditioning in the lobby. There was air conditioning in the hallways. There was air conditioning in the bathrooms, not the theaters. They don't have the bartender or anything in the theater. I smell something stinky.
So you could see the people who are leaving the theater. And yes, some of the stories are ridiculous, but I don't doubt that they're true. I'm not saying, that's the thing. People hear Psyop and all that stuff, and then they just automatically think that I'm saying or somebody's saying that it's all made up, like that those people didn't go to the movie theater and have those experiences. Somebody on the website, callforuprising.com, even talked about, hey, he went to the theater, something happened at the AMC theater. What this tells us is that these theaters have been given specific instructions because the people running the theaters, whatever, if it's AMC or Regal, or I don't even know what movie theaters names exist anymore, who owns what, they all pretty much owned by the same thing, just like every other corporation and brand, okay? They're being given specific instructions, and these are how psychological operations work. The movie theater doesn't need to catch fire. There doesn't need to be a psyop with a gun in the theater. It's stuff like that. Oh, the air conditioner was deliberately turned off. Oh, the viewing stopped in the middle. Oh, they didn't turn the lights off during the viewing of the movie to make it uncomfortable on people. Oh, the water in the bathroom. Okay, these are all things that they want out there. Whether some of these things are real and actually occurred or not, they're making it viral on purpose. That's all you have to look at. They control what goes viral. They control all of this stuff. You don't think that their algorithm can control these things? Of course they can. They put the keywords in, and then they say, we want to prop up any of the movies that are talking about sabotage from Sounds of Freedom, because they want the narrative out there that the liberals are sabotaging the movies, because this keeps people going back and forth, left and right. Oh, the right's upset because their movie's being sabotaged, and the liberal media is calling it a conspiracy. Oh, the liberals are upset because conservatives don't want to kill babies and believe in, don't believe in abortion. They think it's murder, so they hate them. And then because of them, Roe v. Wade's been overturned. So, conservatives are anti-women. I mean, all of it is insane on both sides. Obviously, the liberal side, they're complete lunatics. The stuff that they believe in, castrating children, born that way. These are all government psyops. They believe every word of it because they're weak-minded and they're weak people. And they're pretty much useless people in society who are bringing about a communist world order. But first, this thing has to be divided. And conservatives and liberals are not going to be, they're not going to be able to divide you and put you in separate states just because you vote one way and they vote the other. They need to affect your day-to-day life. By telling you now that conservatives, are having all these things happen, the government's not working for conservatives, it's sabotaging movies. On top of that, the CIA, the IRS are going after conservatives only. They're letting liberals run amok. They're not arresting criminals. They're letting them out in the street. This is all done by design, because what are they going to be able to do out of this? Wait till the 2024 election comes. Whichever way it goes, one side's going to say it's rigged and the other side's going to say that it's not, right? That's what they've been working towards. So if Trump somehow loses, which I think that would be the way that this would go, then Trump could, we're going to break away. Conservatives aren't going to pay their taxes anymore. We're going to have to separate into two countries like Ireland, which is what they want, because they can run their experiments and all the things they want to do, like their smart cities and their carbon footprint, on the liberals. They will do it. Conservatives are not going to go along with the carbon footprint, for starters, because it's enslavement. For those of you that don't know about the carbon footprint and what the whole climate agenda is about, people are just like, oh yeah, it is a little bit warmer in Death Valley. It's about enslavement. It's about tracking. Every move you make, every dollar you spend is part of the carbon footprint. Oh, you bought a taco at Taco Bell? Well, that affects your carbon footprint. Can't go get more food this month. Can't go there. Can't go visit grandma in the hospital. And again, those videos are up on my other channels. That's why I highly recommend you join so you can learn what's really going on. Okay? Just like things like this. Who can't get sucked into this? Who can't get sucked in? As soon as I heard about this movie, I said, oh, okay. That's great. There's a movie about it. I said, it probably won't talk about Satanism, but I won't make a big deal about it. But then you just watch what comes of it. Oh, okay, they're sabotaging movie, yet the mainstream media constantly is talking about it. Thus, people are aware of it and its existence. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the theaters. It wouldn't get promoted. It wouldn't be beating Indiana Jones in the movie theater if the mainstream wasn't going crazy about it. Then on top of it, you get the narrative of, it's a QAnon conspiracy. So then conservatives just start pulling their hair out. And they're like, are these people supporting pedophiles? Are they actually supporting pedophiles? And it goes back and forth to the point it's going to get where not only can these people not live amongst each other based on their political policies, but it's going to get to the point with the 2024 election that it's going to be so unbelievable however this plays out, because it could work either way. I mean, if Biden wins, we're talking about a guy where the mainstream media is openly saying he's got the lowest approval rating ever. So if he somehow won, everybody would say it's rigged. Thus, people would say, you know what? I'm not partaking in this country anymore. I'm not paying my taxes anymore. Everything's rigged. Whatever ends up happening is done by them and their design. The only way this whole thing could be stopped is if everybody stops participating. That means liberals and conservatives stop participating. Stop following Trump. Stop following Biden. Stop following the left and right. See, what they want is for us to implode the system for them. They want us to bring down the Supreme Court. They want us to bring down the House and the Senate, etc., so that they can blame it on us. That's what they're doing here. They're sabotaging our entire government structure. So no, they're not sabotaging Sounds of Freedom for no reason whatsoever. They're sabotaging it psychologically so that they can continue to bait people, because the movie would not be in the theaters unless they wanted it to be in the theaters. And it's really bizarre that 5 years after it's made, that suddenly they, in the height of our civil unrest, that they would roll this out and then politicize it. But it's done by design. They are baiting people. They are making this go viral. They're making these stories go viral. This is what psyops are. It's psychological. People don't seem to understand what the word psychological means. Well, if you're seeing these stories about sabotage and how the liberals are sabotaging a movie that's supposed to help people become aware of trafficking, that would be the definition of psychological. If you're getting angry and upset about it, that means it's working on you. You have to pull yourself out of it. Who isn't upset about what's happening with these children? I've been screaming from the rooftops before anybody's been screaming from the rooftops about it. Okay? Obviously, I care. Obviously, you guys care. But also understand what baiting is, because people are being baited and they have something bigger planned around this. And it's more than the national divorce. And yes, Elon Musk ties into this with chipping as well. Whether it's the brain chip, the Neuralink, or some other thing. But remember, the Masons have been trying to get children's DNA for some time. So these are ways that they can persuade conservatives into giving their DNA. Oh, did you see that movie? That could happen to your kid. Go give your DNA, right? They use it from all different angles, but your DNA is key in everything. And obviously your mind is key in everything. And they continue to be able to work feeble minds. And I only do this and cover this stuff so that people understand that they're being worked and persuaded. I'm not saying the intentions behind the movie couldn't be good intentions. I'm not saying because the guy's a Freemason that he's one of them. I'm not saying any of that. What I'm saying is that this is a designed operation. These things going viral, this movie becoming as big as it has become, was done by design. Otherwise, the liberals would do what they always do, which is not bring attention to anything. They just ignore common sense and common thinking. They don't answer questions. You see Biden at the White House, they don't answer anything. You ask a question about something, they walk away. So why would they bring attention to this and then just start talking about it on The View and talking about it on Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and then bringing QAnon into it to make conservatives even more angry when they would look at it and say, well, how are we not all standing firm side by side trying to protect children? Liberals have kids, right? Because they're psychologically doing this. They're politicizing it, they're weaponizing it, and they're really just going on a full-on assault on people's minds to the point where they're going to divide all of us, and that's exactly what they want. Literal division, not just, oh, we're divided because of political parties. And again, I'm not a conservative, I'm not a liberal, I don't believe in either of it. Your vote's the biggest waste of time there is, because when you're going to vote, it doesn't count. It doesn't mean anything. They do this as a persuasive to persuade people to go and vote and then make them feel like they're the ones responsible. Oh, look, with everything with Biden, how stupid he is. All the conservatives do what? They yell. Oh, the idiots who voted for Biden. None of them voted for Biden. The government is trying to sabotage the government because a new world order cannot exist without the destruction of capitalism and the destruction of the current structure of our government. It's self-sabotage. The Republicans and the liberals are working together in Congress. That's why nothing's getting done. That's why you literally have people in Congress debating if men can have babies or not. It's something that shouldn't even be a debate. It's so ridiculous. Did anybody see this clip I'll throw in here of some guys on the floor talking about the Grateful Dead? This guy's getting paid from our tax money. This is what he's talking about.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today to celebrate and pay tribute to the Grateful Dead. Last night, the Dead & Company closed out their final act in San Francisco. And while this marks the end of an era, it also gives us an opportunity to reflect on the immense impact they've had on generations of fans. Jerry Garcia said it best when he said, maybe we're just one of the last adventures in America. And for those of us who are fans who followed the Dead, they truly were an amazing American adventure. For over 5 decades, their unique blend of rock, folk, and improvisation transcended boundaries, inspiring countless artists and enchanting millions of dedicated fans. In a world often divided, the Grateful Dead reminds us that music has the power to bridge divides and bring people together. Their music served as a beacon of hope, an escape, and a testament to the power of artistic expression. Through their music, the Grateful Dead taught us the value of community, compassion, and the beauty of living in the moment. As we celebrate the Grateful Dead, we also pay tribute to the late Jerry Garcia and all the band members who graced the stage with their exceptional talents. Let's also acknowledge the unwavering dedication of the Deadheads, the devoted fans who traveled far and wide to be part of the Grateful Dead experience. Their unwavering support and enthusiasm nurtured a unique bond between the band and its audience, making each concert totally unique. There was never a concert that was the same as the last. As we celebrate Dead & Company's last concert last night, let's remember that their music and spirit continue to live on in the hearts of all those that they touched. Their journey may have reached its final destination, but their melodies resonate across time, reminding us of the enduring power of music to inspire, uplift, and to bring us together. Madam Speaker, I like people who like the Grateful Dead, and whether in the halls of Congress or back home in North Carolina, I'll always be thankful for the memories they gave us, the music they shared, and the profound impact they had on the lives of everyone in this country. Thank you, and I yield back.
He's talking about being a fan of the Grateful Dead. I mean, if you couldn't look at this, these people are so incompetent, but they're doing it by design. They're going to come out and they're going to go, look, this government structure, it doesn't work anymore. People are racist. People are hateful. People aren't doing what they're supposed to do, et cetera, et cetera. Our government, more than anything, wants to destroy the current state of our government, and they can only do it by imploding it and then blaming it on us. So back to the story here of Sounds of Freedom. There's a reason that it's so popular. And yeah, I know how many good people out there support the movie. There's nothing wrong with supporting the movie. There's nothing wrong with, because people are like, well, isn't some message better than no message? Yes, of course. And if you want to support it, support it. The point is, watch what they're doing because they're baiting you. This is what they do. These are called psychological experiments that they're performing on people. And what I'm telling you is coming from this is coming from it. But there could be an even bigger agenda on the other side of this, how they herd people. Just watch when you start seeing more and more things come out of this. Oh, Tim Bauer, I mean, what are they going to do next? Where are they going to be next? What kind of rallies are they going to start? Are they going to start rallies and events and then have false flags in the middle of them? Probably. Are they going to get, regular conservatives to submit their DNA willingly, their children's DNA? Probably. And then they'll say stuff like, this is a conspiracy, but people will get so emotionally tied into it and invested in it, they'll fall into their deception. And that's what the devil does. He deceives. So even something that's as great as this, there's going to be something bigger tied to it because we're obviously clearly seeing that our government is promoting this and then they're agitating people on both sides of the aisle on purpose and even making it go viral on purpose and then attaching Trump to it and attaching Elon Musk to it. These are all figures that are going to be very prominent in the destruction of this government and the rise of the New World Order. Trump's the biggest one, obviously. So keep an eye on the story. I want to do a video on it so people out there could see it. I miss seeing everybody. I mean, it sucks. You have 500-something thousand, 300. What sucks the most about it isn't being popular or any of those other things. It isn't ad revenue. It's really just losing touch with people who I know still want to see my content. Seeing people in the comment section who I haven't seen in a long time and then wondering, why they haven't clicked the link below to come over to my other channels and sub. So at the very least, please sub to my other channels now and go to the website, click free videos, submit your email there. That way, in 6 months from now or whatever, wherever I'm uploading, if you still want to see it, you can. And look, if you don't want to see it and you don't want to follow, that's perfectly fine too. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But I know there's a lot of people who want my content and have gotten screwed over just like I've gotten screwed over. People who have subbed and done all these things and subbed to backup channels. And it's like, oh yeah, I did sub to his backup channel. Which one? I've had probably 75 channels at this point. I can remember the first one I started, Fire Rises, like 7 years ago. I mean, that got wiped off the face of earth, just like every other one has. This one will be too at some point. And again, there's other channels out there who use my logo and all these things. I guess I'm all right with it. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I want the videos out there, so it's not really a huge deal. And if they get monetized and all that stuff, that's fine too. But, people think that that's where I am, so then they think that they're subscribed to me. If people who use my logo and do that stuff don't leave links to where I'm uploading, then they end up thinking they are subbed to me. They're like, I'm subbed to you. Yeah, your other channel. And they're uploading videos from like 6-7 years ago. So just make sure if you haven't subbed to the other channels, you do so now and again. The website is worth the $2.99 a month. There's just such great content over there from the people who are on the website and the forum, sharing things, real news, real information, educating other people. Everybody's just in unison in a sense. Of course, there's disagreements. Not everybody gets along, but everybody's like-minded, right? There's nothing wrong with having healthy debates or disagreeing on certain topics, but everybody's trying to help each other out, see what's going on, how to navigate around this, how to network with each other, how to prepare with food, how to prepare with shelter, how to have water ready, all those things that are going to be needed. And again, I have exclusive uncensored content over there that you'll probably enjoy if you enjoy my content. So I could say things and not have to worry about what's going to happen to me or happen in my videos. So it's callforanuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. It's ad-free. It's troll-free. And it's well worth it. I hope to see everybody over there. I hope to see you on my other channels. I thank you for being here. God bless all of you and your families.